What really motivates us? Why do we humans do what we do? Hi, Mark Gilbert here, and in this brief video we're going to be reviewing Abraham Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs. Yes, the study of psychology has got other theories of human motivation, but none, in my opinion, come close to giving us a simple, useful tool for understanding basic human needs. There's a reason Maslow's theory is still vital after 50 years. It works. And Maslow's model also assists us in understanding both our human basic needs and our spiritual needs, which I touched on in the video about our spiritual evolutionary path. There I mentioned that we seem to live in two worlds at once, a physical world and a spiritual world. And Maslow helps us to see that. But first, let's look at the first iteration of his famous needs pyramid. The essence of Maslow's theory says that we humans are driven to meet certain basic needs, the ones shown at the bottom of the pyramid. At the most basic level, they're termed physiological needs. They include food, water, air, sleep, healthy body, sex. And if these needs aren't met, it's difficult, if not impossible, to move up to the next level of needs. That next level is what Maslow termed safety needs. Included here are the desires to feel safe and secure. There's no threats to us. We have shelter. We feel economic and job security. Feel safe from the things out in the world. If that level's met, we can then focus on the love and belongingness needs, sometimes called social belonging needs. They include feeling family ties, having a loving relationship, belonging to a group or a tribe or social groups. Loneliness is a symptom that our needs are not being met at that level. But if our needs are met, we can move up the pyramid and focus on what Maslow called self-esteem needs. He actually noted two versions of esteem needs, what he termed a lower level and a higher level. The lower level of esteem is the need for respect from others. This may include a need for status, recognition, fame, prestige, attention. At the higher level of esteem was what he considered the need for your own personal self-respect. For example, a person may have a need for strength, competence, mastery, self-confidence, independence, freedom, and so on. Finally, Maslow's original hierarchy capped out at a level that he called self-actualization. Here one is motivated towards realizing one's personal potential, experiencing self-fulfillment, seeking personal growth and so-called peak experiences. In Maslow's words, this level is where one desires to become everything one is capable of becoming. From this model, one can see that a person can bounce back and forth between levels, although they tend to have one general level that's where they focus most of their energy. For example, if one's stuck feeling no social connection, although they may have moments where they focus on higher needs, the bulk of their effort's on that unmet level for love and belongingness. But then if they lose their job and their safety's threatened, then that becomes the center of their motivation. Simply stated, the lowest level that is unmet is where your attention is generally focused. But you can, in the moment, move up and down the pyramid. Later in life, Maslow, as he learned and evolved in his thinking, he modified his levels in his pyramid. And here's a design for that later model. As you can see, above the self-esteem needs, Maslow offered two new levels: cognitive needs, i.e. dealing with the desire to gather knowledge and understanding, or to fulfill curiosity, or seek a need for meaning and predictability in life. And then above that, he said he saw an aesthetic needs level. Here one is expressing an appreciation for beauty and balance and form and things like that. Then came the previous level of self-actualization, but then above that was a new level he termed self-transcendent needs. Here a person's motivated by values which transcend being beyond the personal self, where they seek certain transcendent mystical type experiences, such as certain experiences with nature, or deeper sexual experiences, or service to others, or a pursuit of meaning such as through science and religious faith, all with an underlying motivation to transcend the physical material self. One other interesting point that Maslow offered was a distinction between what he called deficiency needs and being needs. On the original chart, the first four levels were considered deficiency needs, and on the later model we add cognitive and aesthetic needs to the so-called deficiency needs. With these needs, our motivation is determined by a sense within us of lacking that. We feel a hole in ourselves that needs to be filled. when we meet those needs, the desire subsides. For instance, if we meet our need for safety, our motivation based on the need for safety becomes lower. It dissipates. On the other hand, Maslow called the higher needs being needs, which in the original pyramid was the desire for self-actualization. And on the later model, it added the level of self-transcendent. These needs are not driven by lack, but by a sense of fullness, that we want to give from that fullness. As we begin to meet these needs, they tend to motivate us more, to do that need more, to get more of it. We obtain a sense of meeting self-actualization, of being in the flow, and we want to feel that more fully. Finally, let's tie all this back to my earlier statement about humans living in two worlds simultaneously, having both animalistic needs based on our physical evolution and spiritual needs driven by our desire to evolve back to our source. We might consider that deficiency needs are really driven by that animalistic desire for survival, a sense of feeling separate and apart from others. And this sense pushes us into feeling we need to compete with others. We see the world as all about survival of the fittest. The one with the most power and possessions wins. Yet if we're able to move up the pyramid and able to move to the higher needs of self-actualization and self-transcendent, the so-called being needs levels, we're motivated not by our animalistic past, but by our spiritual pull to the future. The desire to be in the flow, to be in service to something greater, to transcend these bodies and connect with something greater. These needs are drawing us beyond our humanness to something beyond our physical past, to greater and more transcendent possibilities. Something to ponder.